First off, giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, QADASH. I want to say double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And I want to say Shalawam to you, hopeful elect, and you occupy that portion of this word and truth into sincerity. All right. This is going to be a part 2 lesson to the lesson, the last lesson I did. It was on proving that salvation was only for the nation of Israel. All right. And on this lesson here, we're going to get into proving that the inhabitants that are in, or the people that are over there in Israel right now, are not the true Israelites. They're not the real Israelites. All right, they're not the Israelites that the Bible or that YAHAWASHI speaks of. They're not the YAHAWASHI's chosen people. All right, and we're gonna get into that lesson on today. All right, we're gonna open it up with a scripture, and then we're gonna get into some articles, and we're gonna start with the scriptures, and we're gonna end with the scriptures. All right, so the first scriptures that we're gonna get into is Ezekiel chapter 36. I think it's around about verse 5, if I'm not mistaken. All right, bear with me here. All right. It says, therefore, this is Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 5. All right. It said, therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, surely in the fire of my jealousy I have spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, Salakia, which have appointed my land in their own possession with the joy of all their hearts, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. All right, and that point is here where it says, which have appointed my land into their own possessions. All right, so that means that the people over there now, they took that land and they they made it their own, which is they're not, they wasn't supposed to do that. All right, the land was originally designated for them. It wasn't really put there for them. All right, so let's get into we do know that Israel today was established in the year of 1948. All right, so I got a little article here, and we're gonna read this. It's not that long. All right, it says creation of Israel in 1948, and I'll put the link in the description as well, so you all can get to it as well. All right. So without further ado, we're gonna get into it. It says on May 14, 1948, David Ben Gurion, the head of the Jewish agency, proclaimed establishment for the state of Israel, Salakia. U.S. President Harry S. Truman recognized the new nation on the same day. All right. Let's scroll down. Let's get some more. And this is a picture here. We're going to keep reading. Although the United States supported the Balfour Declaration of 1917, which favored the establishment of a Jewish nation home in Palestine. All right. President Franklin D. Roosevelt had assured the Arabs in 1945 that the United States would not intervene without consulting both the Jews and the Arabs in that region. All right. The British, who held a colonial mandate for Palestine, Salakia, until 1948, opposed both the creation of a Jewish state and an Arab state in Palestine, as well as unlimited immigration of Jewish refugees to the region. Great Britain wanted to preserve great relations with the Arabs to protect its vital political and economic interests in Palestine. All right, and here we're going to start getting into the meat of it here. Soon after President Truman took office, he appointed several experts to study the Palestinian issue. In the summer of 1946, Truman established a special cabinet committee under the chairmanship of Dr. Henry F. Grady, an assistant secretary of state, who entered into negotiations with a parallel British committee to discuss the future of Palestine. In 1946, Truman announced his approval of a recommendation to admit 100,000 displaced persons into Palestine, and in October, publicly declared his support of the creation of a Jewish state. Throughout 1947, the United Nations Special Commission of Palestine examined the Palestinian question and recommended the partition of Palestine into a Jewish and an Arab state. On November 29, 1947, the United Nations adopted Resolution 181, also known as the Partition Resolution, that would divide Great Britain's former Palestinian mandate into a Jewish and Arab states in May 1948, when the British mandate was scheduled to end. All right, under the resolution, the area of religions significance surrounding Jerusalem would remain a corpus separatum under internal control administered by the United Nations. All right. Although the United States backed Resolution 181, the U.S. Department of State recommended the creation of a United Nations trusteeship with limits on Jewish immigration and a division of Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab provinces, but not states. The State Department concerned about the possibility of an increase in sovereign rule in the Arab world, and the potential for restriction on the by Arab oil producing nations of the oil supplies to the United States, advised against the U.S. intervention on behalf of the Jews. Later, as the date for the British departure from Palestine drew near, the Department of State grew concerned about the possibility of all-out war in Palestine, as the Arab states threatened to attack almost as soon as the United Nations passed the partition resolution. Despite growing conflict, and here's the point that we're going to be talking about. Despite growing conflict between Palestinian Arabs and Palestinian Jews, and despite the Department of State's endorsement of a trusteeship, Truman ultimately decided to recognize the state of Israel. All right. So the point being here that ever since Israel was established, there has been a growing conflict. All right. There has been a growing conflict in Israel since it has been established. And according to the scriptures, when the true Israelites, or when the true chosen people are there, Israel is going to be at risk. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get the scriptures to back that up. All right. The next scripture we're going to get here is Jeremiah 30. I think it starts at around verse 8. It's like it's chapter verse 10. Okay, but we're going to start at verse 8. All right. Get some little context. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 8, and we're going to stop at 10. For it shall come to pass that in the day, saith Yahawah of hosts, says Lord of hosts, Salakia, that I will break his yoke from thy neck, and I will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, but they shall serve Yahawah their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. And here's the point. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahawah, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar. All right, that save thee from afar, meaning that, we were scattered amongst all the nations. So this is when Lord YAHAWASHI is bringing us back together, and he's gonna take us home. All right, let me keep reading. I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. Like I said, he's gonna save us. He's gonna come and get us, and Jacob shall return. We're going to return to our land. And when the real Israelites, when we return to our land, it says, and it shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. All right, I'm going to read that again. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith YAHAWAH, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from thy land of their captivity. All right, we've been in captivity over here in Babylon. So this ain't our home. He says he's going to save us from afar and from our land of captivity. All right, and he says, and Jacob shall return. We're going to return home. And when we return home, and it shall be rest, it shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. All right, ever since Israel has been established in 1948 here, they have not had, they have not been in true rest or true peace. All right, and we're gonna get that here. This is an article here on the wars. These are the 6 major wars, not including the war today. All right, that Israel has been in. Israel was established in 1948. All right, they were at war in 1948 to 1949. All right, but yeah, let's read this. Arab-Israeli war series of military conflicts between Israeli forces and various Arab forces. Most notable. All right, these are the most notable wars that they had since they've been established. 1948 to 1949, 1956, 1967, 1973, 1982, and 2006. And you got today where the war actually started in last year in 2023. All right, so they're like the scripture says here in Jeremiah verse 10. And when then Jacob shall return, and will return, it shall be in rest. Shall be in rest, and it will be quiet. It has not been quiet over there. And they definitely afraid. They're afraid. Iran is messing them up right now. They are afraid. All right. I'll leave this article here too in the description as well if you want to read this. I got one more scripture for you, and then we're gonna close it out. All right. The last scripture is gonna be Isaiah. Because Isaiah chapter 2. And this actually goes into, it's another scripture on when we are actually at home. All right, so we're gonna the point is in verse 4 here. We're gonna start at verse 2. All right, and it shall come to pass that in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above all hills, and all nations shall flow into it. All right. And the people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. Point here in verse 4 as well. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. All right, so this is another heavy hitter that shows you that the Israelites that are over there now, the people that call themselves the Israelites over there now, they're not the true Israelites. All right, they are not the true Israelites. All right, let's read this one more time. And it shall come to pass that, again, this is Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2 through 4. It shall come to pass that in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above all the hills, and all the nations shall flow into it. All the nations are not flowing into Israel right now. They're at war. They're at all-out war right now. All right. Verse 3. And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain. Come ye, let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways. They're not going to Israel right now trying to learn the ways. They're going over there trying to fight. They're blowing up stuff over there right now. They are not at rest. All right? Keep going. And we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. All right, verse 4. And he shall judge among all nations. All right. Right now, Israel is not judging among all the nations. They're not. And shall rebuke many people. They're not rebuking anybody. They over there trying to survive, man. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. When they turn their swords into plowshares and spears into pruning hooks, meaning that they getting rid of their weapons. They're not fighting. Their concern is not fighting anymore. Right now, they are concerned about fighting in Israel. All right, and it says, and nation shall not lift sword against nation, and neither shall they learn war anymore. All right, they're learning war. They're fighting over there right now. All right, and this was a quick lesson to show you that, and actually give you context that shows that the people that are over there in Israel right now, they're not the true Israelites. They're not the chosen people of YAHAWASHI. All right. I hope this lesson was edified to you all. And then until again, I say Shalawam.